Good morning to me. Good morning to you. It's February 26th. It's a Monday, and I am ready to talk to you kids about some things like fear. We all have fear. I have fear. Everyone has fear. How do we get fear? And fear is a very debilitating thing that cannot help you to move forward in the world. So, good morning, my friend David. I had a rough weekend of shooting photos, and then I shot some more of this film that I'm in. Even though I don't really like acting, it's not my thing, but I do it because representation and visibility until more trans actors come up and we can get more trans actors out there. But for now, I just do it because I think it's important for the visibility. So, good morning, Mohammed. It's nice to see you. What does that say? Nice post. Buck Angel. Love Cracker. Botter. I don't even know what that means, but hello. Good morning. Good morning, Nate and David and Stacy. Oh my God. Yay, South Iceland. That's so cool. Good morning, Allison and Lauren on YouTube. You know, let me just say something about YouTube here, real quick, while I'm talking on Facebook. YouTube is no more monetizing my channel because I don't have enough hits and some kind of nonsense. I don't do this for hits. I do this for community service, and I do this because I want my voice to be out there. So I don't give a shit if you're monetizing my channel or not because I'm not doing this to make money. I do this in order to create dialogue, YouTube, and I do this in order to create change within our community. Now, if people are just on YouTube making YouTube channels in our community as voices only because of monetization, then we need to think about why they're doing it. So if you want to monetize my channel, go ahead and monetize my channel. I don't make any money off of it anyway. But don't tell me that you're not monetizing my channel. I don't really give a shit. You're not going to shut my voice down because of that. It's like, I'm so tired of how everything has become about capitalism. Capitalism. If you don't make money, if you're not making any money doing something, do it out of the passion. Do it out of passion and do it because you want to see change. Then money and things will come to you. But if you're only focusing on making money and you're only focusing on that particular part of whatever it is that you feel passionate about, you're not going to make money because it's your only focus. So, of course, I have to make money and you have to make money. It's the only way we can live and pay our rent. But it isn't the only reason you should be doing anything. So, good morning, kids. Good morning on Facebook. Never sent me that monetized thing. So, Allison, your pain is improving. That's fantastic. Let me go back over here and say hi to everybody. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Angel, Alex. How much is my fun boy? If you, Alexis, if you go on to buckangel.com and you go into my shop, you will see how much the fun boy is. But I can tell you right now, the smaller 4.5 fun boy is $69. The 6.5 is $79. So, right now, I'm working on the rod to go inside. Hi, Kate. Good morning, my friend, and Jennifer and Nate. I barely make anything out of my writing, but I do it to make change. Exactly. Good morning, James. How are you? And so, listen, we're going to talk about fear right now, but we're also going to talk about this idea that if you're not making any money on what you're doing, then you're going to just quit. No, that's not what you should do. And I kind of feel like YouTube telling me we're not going to monetize your channel because you don't have enough hours or you don't have enough. That's telling me that I have to put more energy into my YouTube channel in order to make a $5 check. I don't think so. It doesn't work that way. You're lucky that you get my content. That's how I look at it. YouTube is lucky that I'm even on there speaking my voice. If they don't want me on there, then just say so. But this idea that you're not going to go out and be passionate and do your stuff will block you, and that's also a fear. So as I'm talking about this, I'm going to move into this idea of fear, okay? Kelly says for some reason I can't see all the comments. That is weird. Restart your program. Shut off and come back on. Sometimes it's just technology. So good morning, Fernanda. Good morning, how are you? Good morning, Stu and Angie. And so it's a Monday morning. And a lot of people fear Monday mornings. We know that. There's songs about Monday. It's Monday, the start of the week. It's Monday. And then fear, whether or not you know it or not, fear is coming into your brain because it happens. We just immediately start thinking about all the things we got to do all week long, all the things we got to do. And I'm telling you, I'm doing the same thing, right? We start to fear about the things that maybe are making us nervous. Our rent is due next week, our car note. We have to go to work. Maybe we don't like our job, right? Katie says, morning from Arizona. But good morning. My fear is that my brother might die of his meth addiction. I saw him the other day and he is so far into his addiction. And that's going to make me cry, Katie. That's really rough, Katie. I really am giving you a lot of love right now because I had a meth addiction and holy crap, that stuff takes you out. Meth, don't ever try meth, kids. Listen to Trampa. Don't ever try meth. Don't touch meth. Don't even think about meth. It's not fun. There's nothing fun about it. I'll be the first one to tell you, some drugs can be fun. Of course. You can take drugs responsibly. Of course you can. Of course. But if you have an addictive personality and you are taking drugs when you're not feeling good or you're in a bad space, you will never have a good time, okay? There is nothing fun about methamphetamines. Zero. There's nothing positive that will come out of it. You will never have a good trip from it. You will never learn anything about yourself from it. You know, I'm talking about peyote or stuff like that. You could actually have a spiritual awakening through some types of drug interactions. But most shit like K or crack or methamphetamines taking you out. It will only take you out. Never try it. Listen to Trampa. I am telling you, never try it. It is not worth it. It will take you out. Your whole life will go the fuck down the toilet. And I am so sorry, Katie, that your brother is dealing with this. But do you want some Trampa advice? I'm not going to say anything until you tell me whether or not you want me to say something to you. Other than I'm giving you a lot of love. If you want some of my own advice or opinion about what I did and how I believe that fucking nasty shit, you need to handle it, I will give it to you. But other than that, I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to be that guy that's all, this is what you got to do. No, I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to send you a lot of love because fucking hell, man. Do never try, listen to Trampa, kids. Listen to me. Never try methamphetamines, okay? Never try crack. Never try heroin. Stay away from all of that bullshit stuff, okay? It will take you nowhere, okay? You can try cannabis. You can even try peyote. You can try some experimental things like that when you're old enough and an adult to try these things. They won't take you out. But if you are an addictive personality, I highly suggest that you realize when you put drugs in your body, it's possible that you can come immediately addicted to that, okay? Katie says, thank you so much. It just really hit me hard. I am so sorry, Katie. It's a nightmare. James says, my ex and I had a trick over one night. He was in the bathroom for 20 minutes. Came out and we started to play and he passed out cold for 3 minutes from meth. Scared the crap out of me. It's scary. It is fucking scary. Right? I mean, if you watch how people just go out of it. Just go out of it. Hugs. Katie says hugs means hearing, understanding, giving, and support. Oh, that's sweet. Angie says 2 years sober. Right on. Way to go, my friend. And still struggling. It's hard to stay sober, specifically when you're in a negative space. So let's talk about that. Let's talk. Shelby, you know, Shelby and I were bad together. We know. Shelby and I know. My ex Shelby is on here. And me and her were bad. We were bad, bad, bad. But look at us today. Here we stand. Telling you, we're sober. We're both sober. We both are focused people. There's a reason why that is. But we know we were down and out, my friend. Nate says, don't ever try nicotine if you can avoid it. It's true, too. That's like heroin, they say. Took me 10 years to get off of that shit. Robert says, hey, Katie, healing positive vibes being sent to your family. My sister was on meth as well, and I was so proud of her when she checked herself in for help. I pray that your brother will wake up and see what is doing to your family. And, you know, you can pray all you want, Robert, but let's just talk real here right now. It's not going to happen one day. You're going to wake up and he's fine. It's not. Let's talk fucking real here. You need to figure out either to let go, because that's real. Sometimes you have to let go of people who are so down and out, and there's nothing you can do. And if it's dragging you down and dragging you out, and you cannot focus on yourself or your own day, you, my friend, this is called love. You have to let go of him. And you have to understand, by letting go, that is love. And by letting whatever cycle is going to happen to your brother, it's going to make me cry because it's real. There's nothing. Sometimes people are so deep down in their drugs, they are like this. So you can try as hard as you want, but it is going to affect you and take you so deep down to his level. Then that means both of you are deep down in that level. Sorry, you can't help somebody like that, okay? So listen to me. You have to seriously pull yourself into a space that says, am I doing my brother any good while he is on methamphetamines? Or if I walk away from this right now, will he hit bottom, which is a real thing, and come back up and then need my help? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I hope it does. Right on, Shelby. Today I'm sober too, my friend. Tough love eases stress. It's true. It's true. James says, also mention do not mix alcohol with prescription drugs. Katie says, that's what I'm struggling with so bad. I don't want to let him go because I don't want to lose him, but I also can't help him without getting too involved. Listen to me, Katie. We're all there. All of us probably have had some fear in our lives somewhere along the line about a person in our lives who have been on drugs, alcohol, mental health problems, just totally out of control, and we want to help so bad. We want to help so bad. The best way to help somebody is to not enable them. And enabling means you're either continually trying to put them in a rehab, or you're continually trying to tell them this is the way to make yourself better. That's not, because people don't hear you when they're fucking addicted. People don't hear you when they're on drugs. People don't hear you when they're in their own fearful fucking space. So all that's doing is creating a fearful space for you. And if you are with that other person together, you are just not going up. You're going down. So Katie is saying, it's breaking my heart. I haven't stopped crying since. You should just cry. Cry, 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 cry. But the next step for you to do is get into your own meetings. Get into your own, right? Al-Anon meetings, okay? Enabler meetings. Because if you don't do that and you don't have support of other people who are dealing with the same problem that you have, you need to have camaraderie. You need to have community right now. You need to have other people who are dealing with the same issue that you're dealing with, so that you two can talk about it, and you 2, 3, 5, 10 can be together and say blah, 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 and then you're feeling supported. Once you start feeling supported and not alone in this, you will be able to let go, and letting go of your brother is called love, by the way. That's love. By enabling your brother and being there with him the whole time, and then making sure that you're enabling him, he won't get better. He won't get better because he won't be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, because you're blocking it. You're blocking the light, Katie, by thinking that you're going to help him. This is a real thing. And again, what does it come to? Fear. Everything and a lot of things that we do where we don't reach the next level comes from fear. And fear is a block. And that's what we're talking about today. So, as much as we all want to help, I want to help the world. I want to help everybody. I want everybody to have the amazing, beautiful life that I have. And I'm not going to lie, my life isn't always just amazing. I fear things. I have troubles. I have struggles. I have all the same things everybody has. But I have a beautiful life. And so my problem, want to know what my problem is? I want to help everybody because I love you back, Katie. This is the great thing about the internet. Want to know the great thing about the internet? Want to know the great thing about YouTube and Facebook and these live interactions is we can learn to love each other, and we can learn separate states away, separate countries away, separate fucking continents away. Me and you can connect on a human level and tell each other how much we love each other, and tell each other how much we want to support each other, and tell each other how much we fear life and we fear things in order for us to connect on the same level. But we're not using it. We're not using it for that. We're using it in order to create fear, and we're using it in order to create a separation of ourselves within our community. And why? When we can use such a beautiful tool to create love and happiness between each other, and we can create support for ourselves and for our community. Kelly says, I agree 100% with going to meetings, especially codependency meetings. Good morning, Rochelle. Nice to see you. Robert says they have to want help. They have to be the one to make the decision. And Katie, the best thing to do is step back, and if you cut yourself off while you're with him, that's exactly it. You said it, Robert, right? Good morning, Michelle Mendez. Nice to see you. We're talking about our friend Katie here, whose brother is dealing with a methamphetamine addiction. And we all agree, there's nothing you specifically can do with somebody who has an addicted friend or family or whatever, especially a lot of the things like methamphetamines or oxy. You must walk away from it. That is love. As much as you don't see it being love, it is love. I know they call it tough love. It's the reason I'm here. It is 100% the reason I'm here today, because I had tough love from my family, my friends. Nobody spoke to me for years. Gino on YouTube says, my mother smoked crack and I still blame myself for her death because of my mental health. No, Gino, let go. That's fear. Let go. You did not kill your mother. She killed herself. Done. Done. That's codependency. Nate says, in order for us to help others, they need to be willing to accept the help. I learned that the hard way with friends who consistently wouldn't get help, even though she said she didn't want to lie. You know, I have alcoholics in my life. I have alcoholics who drink every day, get fucked up, lay on the floor, act like crazy people, and they're all my age. And they're my age. I'm 55. That is just so distressing to me, to see a 55-year-old person who is my friend, drunk as hell, slung out on the floor, knows they have alcohol problems, but doesn't even talk about it. So it's not my place to talk about it. I've said it already. But for me, it's hard for me to let go because I really like this person a lot and I want to be around them, and it's their choice to drink. But then comes my choice. Do I want to be in the environment as this person is, when every time we go to a party or somewhere, they get slung out? And it's embarrassing to me sometimes. I don't want to be around that situation. But how do I remove myself from it? I'm telling you exactly what's happening with you, Katie. I know. I think sometimes maybe I can save this person. Maybe they're going to see me not drinking. Maybe they're going to see me having a great time, not high and not drunk and not out of control. Right? Lead by example. Lead by example. So, Katie, leading by example is not being around the drugs. Angie says, my husband is having a hard time trying to stay sober. He's trying going to meetings, but he stopped going because he said that he felt judged because he wasn't completely sober, because he still feels a few drinks and smokes weed. Oh, you're going to be totally judged in AA. 100%. Angie, tell your man that he is going to be judged in AA. AA does not allow weed smoking, any form of any kind of drugs or anything. But I don't understand that. Isn't coffee kind of an addictive thing? Tell me this right now. AA saved my life, but I want to know. There's a double standard in AA. Coffee is an addictive drug. Cigarettes are an addictive drug. Why are cigarettes and alcohol okay in AA, but cannabis, which is an actual real medication, a natural medication that I use, that has actually helped my anxiety, helped me focus, helped me sleep. Why is cannabis now a bad thing to use if you are sober? I don't even say that I'm sober anymore, because you know what? I'm not sober. I'm me. I'm clean and free of the drugs that took me out. I'm not sober. I don't use drugs and I don't drink alcohol for 30 years. I use cannabis. I am not addicted to cannabis. It is not a drug. It is a medication. So why is it okay in AA to drink coffee? And why is it okay to smoke cigarettes pack after pack after pack? But when you fucking light up a cannabis stick, you're the devil. That's what doesn't make sense to me. And that's bullshit, right? That is bullshit behavior, is picking and choosing what are addictions and what aren't. It is not okay to do that. Coffee does affect judgment. Who, AA? Allison, or is that somebody? Yes, it does. Coffee can make you, look, this is my second cup of coffee. I can tell you from the minute I woke up, I had one cup of coffee. Then I said I'm going to do my show and I'm going to have another cup of coffee. Now I'm on my second cup of coffee. I can already feel my heightened speediness. That's addiction because I went, and it's also my judgment. I'm also like a little bit speedy and a little bit like, so I don't agree with that. Coffee does affect your judgment on some people maybe. But addiction to tobacco is fine. Are you kidding me? Hello, Diana. Nice to see you. Jennifer says, I think coffee is an addiction. I get headaches when I don't have coffee. Yes, yes. And Shelby says, and she's clean. I know. We're so clean. Come over and have coffee with me. Nate says, without coffee, my blood pressure drops. I get migraines, my concentration level. Kelly says, I say it with love and experience, Katie. I was in a very similar situation with my brother a couple years ago. If you need an ear, I just love you guys. Go, Katie, speak to Kelly, Irene, because that's what community is about. And it's exactly what I just said earlier. We are worlds apart from each other, yet here we stand, and we love each other from afar. And we're willing to come together and say, I know exactly what you're going through. Let me help you. Isn't that what community is about? It warms my heart, kids. You warm Trampa's heart. When you come together, no matter what you disagree with politically, no matter what you disagree with community-wise, no matter what you disagree with, whatever that is, you still understand humanity. And if we don't start to say, it's okay for you to be gender nonconforming, I don't care, I'm a transsexual man, but my transsexual manness and your gender nonconforming has nothing to do with each other's lives. It has everything to do with coming together and understanding, raising above the bullshit that we have created in our community because you're that, I'm that. We've become fearful of each other. We've become fearful of each other's thoughts. We've become fearful of each other finding their own space. Why? Why are we so fearful of each other growing? Allison says, not me that made the coffee statement. That's okay. Gee, that's okay. I don't know who said it. Somebody is on there. And coffee does actually interfere with your judgment. So what this person is saying is that anything that defers your judgment is a drug. Well, I can think of many things that aren't considered drugs. Food can do that. A lot of sugar can do that. If you eat a whole cake, that could be a drug because it's going to make your judgment off. So, I mean, really, what is the definition of a drug? Many things can be addictive. That's why they have food. That's why they have, what is it called when you have overeating, Overeaters Anonymous, gambling. They have so many things in our life. Shopping is an addiction. Shopping can be an addiction and a fear, right? Good morning, Nushi. Nice to see you. So let's talk about fear, addiction, community. Do you know that all of those things interact with each other? We don't even talk about that. Jolene says, you have a special spot in your heart. You are amazing, and because of you and learning about you. No, I love you, my friend Jolene. We can't do these shows without you. It's about us, but I appreciate you. Leah says, a study was just released saying that if you drink coffee while you're experiencing anxiety, you can experience symptoms of schizophrenia. Wow, that's fascinating. Leah, can you send me that? So thinking of that, I use a product called CBD. If any of you know anything about, I'm going to talk about that, Allison, about CBD. I use CBD daily for my anxiety because I don't smoke cannabis in the daytime because it makes me stoned and I can't focus. I'm not good at focusing when I'm stoned. I'm good at going out and sleeping. But I use a thing called CBD, which I sell on my Pride Wellness company. CBD is amazing for anxiety. It's amazing if you feel restless. It's amazing for your body. It's amazing for anti-inflammatory. It's amazing on so many levels, and it doesn't affect what? Your thought process. It just calms you down. It's amazing, and why I'm a big believer and why I create products for that. So I want to go over here for 1 minute, and Allison says this. Allison says this in YouTube. sex can be an addiction. I'm going to say I'm not sure if I agree with you on that, Allison. Some people do believe sex can be an addiction. Some people don't. Do you believe that jacking off or masturbating every day is an addiction? Do you think that that's an addiction? Do you think people know when they are sexually addicted and not sexually addicted? Do you understand? There's a fine line there because some people are totally fine with having sex every day or feeling they need to have sex every day. It's all about how it affects your life. That to me is what addiction is, okay? Yes, look at all of you use CBD. It's amazing. Katie says, I got to take my son to music class. I love you guys so much. Thank you. We're here for you, Katie. Go, come back. We're around. Talk to the people here who are giving their time to you. It will help you a lot, okay? So Rochelle says, abuse of anything can be an addiction. Right. Jennifer says, what CBD stands for? Go Google CBD. Cannabinoid, blah, blah, blah. It's the scientific term for CBD. It's cannabinoid, blah, 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 blah. So Jolene says, it's the chemical release that would lead to addiction. Yes. CBD is a lifesaver. So, yeah, Allison says it's very controversial, sex and addiction. But fear. What is, and Kratom too. I'm looking into Kratom. Kratom. Roman says, I've been using CBD and Kratom. Yeah, I heard that's a really great one too. I'm looking into that right now. Does everybody have their coffee? So I'm going to drink a little bit of my coffee and I'm going to continue to read your comments right now. But then we're going to go back to fear. We had a great example of fear this morning from our friend Katie. Her brother is using methamphetamines and she feels totally out of control and fearful that her brother's going to die, that she doesn't know what to do, all of that. Right, Nate? Yes, I have foam. And that's a fear for her own self that she's not going to be enough for her brother. But people don't understand. You cannot help people who do not want to help themselves. This is a very important message that I'm telling you right now. You cannot help people who do not want to help themselves. Period. Period. There's no argument. There's no conversation. It's a real thing. So as far as I can see from our friend Katie, your brother isn't in the space to want to help himself. You must walk away from that. Anybody or anything that you are trying to help, if they don't come to you in a way where you're looking as if they're looking as if they want to get better, let it go. And that's with anything in your life. Do you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a partner or whatever, and they don't want to move forward or learn or become together? You can't help that. Let's talk about our community and fear. Let's talk about our community. So our community and fear is even bigger than that, right? We have so much fear in our community because people are pushing against each other. People are pushing each other's ideas onto each other, which is creating a fear because it's saying to you this: your identity isn't good enough. My identity is better than your identity. That's exactly what's happening within the transgender community. Is not the transsexual community. It's not happening there. It's happening within the transgender community where there's fear-based. My identity is better than your identity, and your identity goes underneath my identity. That's creating anger and fear towards each other. Nushi says she can consider or think about why he started using and then be there for him. But you can do that, my friend, but you need to do that for yourself, right? The victims Olympics, Roman. It's true. Michelle says, yes, be careful. I was going to say, sometimes you have to walk away. You sometimes have to walk away. And sometimes you have to walk away from a community that is continually instilling fear in you. It's continually instilling a desire to keep you from moving forward. The best way for any human being, you should not be walking the world as a transgender person only. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. You are not just a cisgender. You are not just a transgender. You are not just a gay person. You are not just a transsexual. You are not just that. You are not just that. And by saying you are just that, it is so easy to manipulate you. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are more than, you are first and foremost a fucking human being. Never forget that. Never forget that. Do not get yourself sucked into the fact that you are only trans. You are not only trans. That is a tiny little bit of who you are. A teeny, teeny, teeny little bit. That little trans thing is here now. This is my transness. Other than that, I am a human being. I am a man with a vagina. I'm a transsexual history. I am bisexual. I am happy. There's so many other things I am. I am this much of a trans. We need to stop putting the emphasis on you're trans, you're gender nonconforming, you're gender non. That's all great and fine, but that should not be your whole personality and who you are. That's limiting. But on some reason, we have put a fearful instilled fearness in our community towards people to have them adamantly say, we are that. Yes, you are that, but it is not only that. And when you only focus on one part of your own self, you lose so much. You lose compassion, you lose empathy, you lose the desire to create a better world because you're only focused on your transness. And at this point, we don't even know what transness is. The fucking goddamn description of trans is gone out the door. People are just losing it. So I really, listen to me, I really want to inspire you to get yourself out of this trans thought and into the thought of who am I? What am I? I am more than. Because you are more than. If you continue to put yourself in a tiny little box that says, which is a label, it's so funny to me. People think it's not a label. Gender nonconforming is a label. It's a label. So, Allison says, I was at a workshop this weekend about trans bodies by Alex Morgan, who's a friend of mine, and that was so affirming as it addressed all issues and didn't label any trans body. Gino says, I want to be an example for blind LGBT. I don't know if my contribution... Of course it is, Gino. Are you blind? Of course it is. Every single one of you is important in our community, whether you believe it or not. Every single one of you. Diana says, I only struggle myself with people who bring out the best in me and vice versa. Yes. Angie says, I haven't come out to my parents. I'm terrified what will happen to my husband and I. You don't need to come out to your parents. Angie, you don't need to come out to your parents. Who cares? That's not the concern of your parents. This idea that you have to tell your parents, I tell lots of kids, just relax. Just be yourself. Your family will come. But when you come up to your mom and your dad and you're like, I'm a transgender person, that's going to throw them off. They don't even know what that is. All they hear is negativity in the world today about transgender. There is no need for you to tell your parents you're gay. There is no need. There isn't. There just isn't. Until you are in a space for your own self. You must do it for you first and for nobody else. When you start to tell your parents on your journey, it just fucking throws a wrench into it because they don't understand and now they're coming at you negatively. Stop bringing negativity in your life. Is it really important for your parents to know that? Is it really? Christians Rose says, hey, Buck, good morning and happy Monday. I'm glad to see you today. Have an amazing day. Thank you, my friend. You too. Kelly says, Angie, never be afraid of who you are. If you don't love and accept, the bottom line. So labels, kids. Labels, labels, labels. Your parents don't need to know shit. I talk to 16-year-old kids constantly like, I want to tell my parents I'm trans. I'm like, why do you want to tell your parents you're trans? Do you know what's going to happen when you tell your parents you're trans at 16? They're going to flip out. They're going to think it's at your school. They might try to take you out of your school system. They might try to interrupt your life because they're fearful of what trans means. That, to me, doesn't accomplish anything but negativity. Right? Dawn says, why are we hooked on this? Who did you so wrong? All these chats revolve around how awful trans folks are. A lot of us are just fine. No, it doesn't, Dawn. It doesn't talk about all trans folks at all. And I'm sorry that you feel that way. Who did me wrong? Nobody did me wrong. I'm actually really happy and my life is amazing. What I see every day is youngsters coming to me crying and saying they've been bullied by many people in that community. That's what did me wrong. What does me wrong is nobody's talking about it, Dawn. And it is fine. I'm fine. You're fine. Many trans people are fine. But there are also many people in this community who are being hurt, who are being manipulated, who are being told they're not good enough, who are being told they're not trans by other trans people. That's what does me wrong. I don't really care about whatever else is going on. What I care about, Dawn, is the children. And if nobody fucking steps up for support of the trans children who are being manipulated, who are actually committing suicide, who are hating themselves, who are too fucking scared to speak up about being trans, who else is going to do it? Dawn, are you? Because Dawn, you seem to be fine and set in your ways. But do you talk about anything else other than the fact that you're happy and your life is going so good? Doesn't seem to me like you do. So Dawn, I would love to have a little conversation with you, and I'll speak to you exactly. All my conversations talk about how we in a transgender community are eating each other alive, are disrespectful to each other, are telling each other how to be. And yes, I speak about it every single day. And I will stop speaking about it when there comes to be a point where we respect each other's choices, Dawn. And until we start to respect each other's choices, I will not stop talking about how awful the part of the community and transgender world is. They're awful to me. They're awful to you, whether or not you know it or not. And they're most definitely awful to the youngsters in our community. And I, as a trampa, have an obligation to speak out against the gatekeepers in this community who have destroyed so much of what I have built and so much about what transgender means and who is transgender and why are we transgender and why does transgender exist and how you can be who you want to be no matter what you want to be. That's why I speak out, Dawn. So now let's see what happens here. Hello? Where did Dawn go? Hello, Dawn. Okay, Dawn. Dawn. Where did Dawn go? Did I scare Dawn? Do you guys think I was a little rough right now? Again, I'm going to tell you what Dawn just said. Dawn said this to me. Why are you so hooked on this? Who did you so wrong that all these chats revolve around how awful trans folks are to each other? A lot of us are just fine. Do you hear what I just said? So Dawn is just fine. So Dawn doesn't feel like Dawn needs to speak out. Dawn, your head is in the sand if you think our transgender community is just fine. I'm glad you're part of the transgender community is just fine, and I'm glad you get to walk the world free without having any kind of bullying or any kind of gatekeeping or any kind of undesirable language being thrown at your place. But really, don't come on here and say that to me and walk away. It's not cool. I'm not cool with that because I want to have a conversation around this. Why did they leave? Why did they leave? You see what I mean? People don't want to have a conversation. They just want to throw at me. I wish everyone be supportive and positive and respectful. We need to continue to use our voices. When my daughter told me I wasn't sure what trans was, I did the research and asked questions. When you're repeatedly told you don't belong to so many of our youth, then somebody has to stand up for them. Thank you, Nate. I don't care if none of you show up. I do, but I don't care. You know what I mean? You won't stop me from talking about the negativity from the transgender community because it is. People know it and people come here to talk about it. And until we come together as a family, I will continue to talk about it for the children. So don't tell me the whole community gets along. I have tons of transgender friends. We're great. I am great. My life is amazing. But it is my obligation as a big voice to really open up the conversation about why are we the way we have come, even though some of us are okay. That is so rude, and that is actually really very self-centered. That is very self-centered. So go Buck. I don't have any adversity coming from anybody here. Nope, you're exactly right. Appreciate you being candid, truthful. No, you're passionate about. Rochelle says, no, that was perfect, Buck. You chased her. No, Diana, you are spot on. No, Stacy says, no, I think you are just stating an opinion and trying to make others aware of what is happening in the community. Young kids are being killed. Speak your truth. I'll be there. They can't handle anyone. Where did they go? Where did they go? Did they just prove my point? Did they just prove my point? Those are the people that are watching us and watching my voice from behind and then coming on and saying, Why are you so mean? You're so angry. I'm not angry. There's a difference between anger and passion. There's a difference between anger. I have passion to make our community one and a whole. Why are you running away, Dawn? Why don't you want to have a conversation? You can't spew. I'm not angry and I have a beautiful life and everybody knows that. I say it every day. I don't have to be here and I don't have to do this. But because I believe in the way you change things is by being visible and outspoken. Go watch fucking early fucking movies about activism. People didn't sit in their chairs in front of their computers and fucking go, why are you so angry? Shut up and sit down. No, they were out fighting. How do you think we got to where we are? The feminist movement put us where we are. The early transsexual movement put us where we are. The Women's March puts us where we are. Black Lives Matter puts us where we are. The people who are out on the front lines fighting for equality put us where we are. Not people who come on and say, why are you so angry? I'm not angry. I'm passionate. Two different things, my friend. But bye, Dawn. It's just upsetting to me. You know, why don't people want to fucking have a conversation? Instead, they want to spew. But Dawn just made a complete, total, 100% just actually shows exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly what I'm talking about. Christian says, my husband and I own a nonprofit here in Pennsylvania called Transgender Pennsylvania. We have helped so many trans people with everything. You're coming out to surgeries. I'm right there with you. Last night, I spent the night talking to a 17-year-old girl from overdosing because she's being bullied at school. I'm in the process of getting her online classes because her parents threw her out. Okay, Dawn. You see that, Dawn? Christian, thank you for putting that. Jennifer says, Alexis, I saw it when it aired on TV about a year ago. No, I didn't see it, but I'll go watch it, Alexis. Kelly says, it's like saying I survived cancer, so we don't need to research it anymore. We are in such a me society. I despise that type of thinking, Kelly. Thank you for that. I despise, just because my life is amazing, I'm supposed to just go, well, fuck all you. Figure it out on your own. I'm amazing. My life is awesome. I would be a disgusting, fucking, useless asshole if I did that. And that's how I believe. So until our community is back to where I remember it being, where we loved each other and spoke about each other and we're not just okay. I'm glad your life is okay, Dawn. Good for you. Maybe you should support the people who aren't okay by donating a little of your time to an organization in your town where there's transgender youth who are so depressed they don't even know how to look outside. Maybe you should go donate a little of your time, Dawn, since your life is just okay. That would be a really great idea, I think. These people whose lives are so okay, yet they don't come and I'm a believer of this. When your life is okay, you have the responsibility to put your hand out and make sure other people's lives are okay. It's called abundance. Diana says, Dawn, he does speak positively, but the truth is not always positive and straightforward. Angel says, the negativity in the community is extremely disheartening. We as trans people or the LGBT community go through enough bullying. We don't need it from each other. Or the community we turn for advice. You know, it's just sad. It's just sad. Dawn says, heaven forbid anyone who wants to have a mature... Okay, Dawn, but you finally came back, didn't you? So I having a mature conversation. Actually, that's not mature. That's not mature. What's mature, Dawn, when you come in and say, why are you talking like this? Go look at your comment, Dawn, and you tell me if you started it off as a mature comment. Go tell me. The ones, Miss Dawn or Mr. Dawn or gender nonconforming Dawn. I don't know what your pronoun is, but Dawn, why don't you tell us what a mature conversation is? Actually, no, never mind. I'm sorry. I got sidetracked. Bad me. Bad. We don't know anything about you, Dawn. You just showed up out of nowhere with a really rude comment. So why don't you tell us about yourself, Dawn? Are you transgender? How do you identify? Tell us what your life is about, because we would love to know how beautiful your life is, so you can see why we talk about this. So come on, we're here listening to you, Dawn. So I'm gonna take a sip, Diana, and let's listen to where Dawn comes from and how Dawn's life is so amazing. So we're listening, Dawn. And so remember, Fear is something that blocks you from speaking your mind. It is very important for everybody to speak their mind at the B Cup. Dawn spoke their mind. But guess what happens when you speak your mind? You also get to have other people speak their mind. It is called respect. God forbid somebody actually challenges your thought process, Dawn. So, Dawn, I don't care about if we've met. I don't care about any of that. I care about what you meant when you said to me, why am I constantly negative and what did somebody do to me? And why is my show, our show, always about negativity? Which it's not. It's about confronting issues within our community and within our human world. That's what the B Cup is about, talking about things that people don't want to talk about. And if you really opened up your eyes, you might see that the transgender community is in a lot of turmoil and a lot of negativity is happening within the transgender community. Maybe you live in a little house in the woods and you don't have to deal with any other transgender people and your life is so amazing. But if you really got out into the real transgender world and you really started to listen with your ear, you would actually be very shocked at the negativity that is happening, especially for the youth, Dawn. So now, I would love to know. But Dawn, I want to know what you meant by that. Anyway, you're not answering the question, so we're going to go on. I have met many people in my life, and I don't remember everybody, and I apologize, and that's my old age. So, here we're going to go. It's 9:30. Wow, how do we get to be talking for so long, kids? It's because I miss you, and I don't get on every day. And the reason why I don't get on every day is because my schedule is totally insane these days. How can we have the B Cup without me? Can we have some guest spots? Do you want to start talking about that? How about this, kids? Is Stacy still online? Stacy, are you here? Stacy's one of our moderators. Let's talk about this. I have a really great idea. Because I cannot show up every day and I cannot be part of this. I just have so much, as you know, so many things happening right now, and I'm not necessarily in a space to do this. Stacy, let's have a conversation here right now in front of everybody else. Let's say I can't show up one day. Can Stacy become the voice? Can Stacy? I know you're really busy, but can we pick guest spots? Can Diana come on and be the lead of the show? Can Stacy? Can Kelly? I think it would be really awesome if we can sort of have guest speakers come on when Trampaw can't make it because Trampaw's traveling the world somewhere. And it might be a way that we continue to keep the conversation going, but also with other voices involved in it so that we can teach people like Dawn that my voice is not just my voice. My voice is really about us. And I'm speaking about what we're all thinking about. But actually, if we get other voices talking in that manner, we also get to see other points of view. And I think it would be really fucking awesome. And then we could talk about that. It's just a thought. I'm putting it out there because the B Cup is moving strongly. And we really got an amazing group of people who come on and learn and challenge us. I like to be challenged. I like when people like Dawn come on and challenge my thought process. Then I get to explain exactly why the B Cup is this way and why I'm so passionate about talking about the negativity of the transgender community. This idea that the transgender community is all happy is bullshit because it's not. It's destroying people's lives on so many levels. I'm glad there are people who are so happy in their trans life, but I don't see that everyone is that way. Okay? We do, Stacy. Stacy says we have a lot of positive people. That would be great. So, I'm going to go. I love you guys, YouTube, very much. Gino says, I would like to work with you. Can you? Okay, yeah. So, of course we can. So, I'm going to let all you kids go on YouTube, and I'm going to say bye to Facebook, and then we're going to go back to work. Okay, kids? I love you guys on YouTube. Create a beautiful day. Abundance.